discuss the Canadian division with me playing D today, Dylan, and we'll throw it over to Rocky.
Yeah, I'll be your winger. We're trying something new with the game. We're playing winger defenseman instead of center winger. We found that doing this, the center is a little bit more useful than the winger or the defenseman. Plays a bit better defense, plays a bit better offensively, forechecks, covers our positions better. So we're trying something new. You guys will see how it goes.
The gist of it is that, the computer center is a lot better than I am.
Yeah, basically. We still lose.
Surprisingly, we're about the same as Face-Off.
Yeah, we lose every single draw, but
But nothing has changed.
he's a bit more useful this way, I find.
Great hockey IQ.
Yeah. But yeah, guys, we decided to stop doing casts on Thursdays. There's Tuesdays and Thursdays a bit too close together to be releasing things. We kind of like Tuesday we have a bunch of information to talk about, and then from Tuesday evening to Thursday morning, there's not a whole lot that happens. So we're just gonna go down to one a week. Maybe if during the year it starts to pick up some steam and you guys want more than one a week, then we can obviously go to more than that, and we can talk about that all later. But
yeah, it obviously works because since last Tuesday, a lot has happened.
what is with the teams that we play on these streamcasts? Josh Allen's big
Josh
sack.
Allen, big sack.
Man, craziest names every time.
Yeah,
we
it's
start
NHL.
streaming.
It should be Jake Allen's big sack.
There you go. Jake Allen. Pretty much. But yeah, like you were saying, there's tons to talk about throughout the week. There's lots going on. The World Juniors have been awesome to watch, and we have our final division to break down just in time for the season to get going.
Yeah, it's a pretty sweet division too. I feel like even people who aren't fans of Canadian teams, I feel like this is going to be the most watched division in hockey, or even before,
Yeah,
Just to be able to watch all these Canadian teams play each other so often is going to be unreal entertainment.
it is going to be very, very good. Do you know how the divisions are going to work within travel? Because obviously they're going to be traveling interdivision. So did I miss? Because I haven't seen anything.
Like, what do you mean? Are they taking a bus or a plane or a train?
Well, I meant like, is there any kind of like bubble, or is it kind of like the NFL where it's like there's protocols and you just kind of got to stay in those protocols?
Yeah, I feel like that's it, because I bet you no Canadian teams are going to have fans. I think Florida right now is the only team that's kind of been like, we'll allow some fans.
Arizona's gonna have fans as well.
Really?
Yeah.
For San Jose, too. Aren't they playing there, too?
Uh
Like the
in Arizona?
49ers? Yeah.
Oh,
Ooh.
nice try.
Yeah, I
Right.
forgot about that. I don't know if that was ever decided on or not, if San Jose is playing
I'm
in
sure
Arizona or not.
if the Coyotes are gonna have fans, I'm sure, and if San Jose's playing
Yeah.
there, I'm sure they'll have fans. But based on how San Jose's been playing lately, it's not like they're gonna have tons of
Yeah.
fans no matter what.
Well, I was going to say, hasn't Florida been only allowing 15% of their fans the whole time?
Yeah, exactly. They never were. They're definitely gonna need that income though, because as a lower end team, you already aren't making a ton of money with fans.
Yeah.
You gotta have something. And so you think that they're gonna do the helmet ads? I think it's
Yep.
just a matter of time before Florida, Arizona, lower teams like that start releasing that kind of stuff.
I'm fine if Florida wants to do it full time. Like, I
Yeah?
hate the helmet ads on every other team so far, but if Florida wants to wear it, who's to stop them?
Yeah,
know.
no, it's true. Like
They obviously
I
ain't selling tickets ever.
I think people are making I think people are making too big of a deal about these helmet ads. Like they
It
don't
depends
even
on
look
what team
that
you cheer
bad.
for. Pittsburgh's looks so bad.
Looks a little out of place. Maybe they could have done a bit better of a color coordination, but I guess
Yeah, you
the
think?
sponsors want to keep their branding, so
I'm surprised so far. It's been every single, basically, arena sponsorship that's just hopped onto the helmets.
well, they probably get first dibs, right? Because they have a stake in the team to a degree. What?
Holy.
Right? They have a bit more pull than any other ad, so they're probably like, "Hey, you guys get first opportunity before we open it up
Yeah.
anywhere else." And maybe that's why
Scotiabank
some
just
teams
owning
are,
the NHL now.
yeah, half of Canada. And then they sponsored the division too, the whole North
Yeah.
Division. So yeah, it's gonna be yeah, that was a terrible play on my part. Nice play, Dell. It's gonna be interesting to see who all does it. Like, do you think every team will do it?
Well, considering Toronto makes we're probably upwards of top 3 teams in the league for revenue, the fact that they're doing it
I guess.
leads me to believe that every other team would.
Yeah, that's true. It's just gonna be interesting to see the TD logo on a Bruins jersey or a Bruins
Yeah.
helmet.
Well, everyone's lobbying to get the Barstool Sports logo on the Bruins helmet.
Oh yeah? But you never know. Maybe that's why there's a bit of a delay with the other teams. Maybe their sponsors don't want their sponsors aren't taking the lead with that, right? Maybe they don't
Yeah.
want to. They don't want to pay to sponsor that. You know what I'm saying? If that made sense.
Yeah, they've already reached out to their big sponsors and they
Yeah.
kind of turned it down already.
Yeah, maybe. You never know. Smart play. Terrible play by the computer though. But yeah, so those are sponsored. Did you see the other sponsors for the divisions?
Yeah, I think was it Discover's one of them.
Yep, Discover.
Honestly, I don't think those ones really matter. Like, I'm
No.
surprised those weren't done already.
That's just a
You
way
know?
for. I was offside. Sorry. I wonder who's getting that money. Who's getting that sponsorship money? Because Honda got the West, Scotia
Yeah.
got North, Mass Mutual got the East, and then Discover got the Central.
What the heck is Mass Mutual? That's what
I
I want
don't
to
know.
know.
I'm guessing it's
gotta
a
be a
bank of
bank.
some sort.
Yeah.
Like, that's the only thing that would make sense. I don't know. I don't live in the States, dude.
Yeah,
I know
guess that's true.
Scotia. Oh, he should have shot that.
I watched this guy on YouTube, and he's like a soccer fan. He's somewhere over in Europe, but he did a one where he did the Microsoft Flight Simulator, and he flew over different NHL buildings, and every single tried to read Scotiabank's on for like the arenas. He'd always call it Scotia Bank,
Really?
and now I can never unsee it. I'm like, yeah, it's the Scotia Bank Saddle Dome.
That's interesting. I didn't see that.
Good old Nova Scotti.
Man, he just opened his 5-hole wide up. Well, did you see some of the, like, let's talk about some of the players. That's what's going on with the players right now. Everything's happening with everybody.
Well, you're the homer. Do you want to start in Boston?
Another tragic loss to our defense.
Yeah, the
Captain.
Torrey Krug wasn't enough.
Yeah, I know. Well, like Chara said, he's like, but he wants to play. He wants to play every game. He wants to be in the lineup. He wants to be a leader. And Boston was only giving him a reserve role, so that 7th D role. They want to put the young guys in, which I understand and sort of agree with. But it's
Yeah.
tough to see the guy who I grew up knowing as the captain of the Bruins to be gone. You know? And especially I thought it was either Bruins or retirement. That's what I thought it was going to be. But the fact that
Well,
he just
I'm
went
sure
to
they thought about that
Washington,
with Bobby Orr too. You know,
well, that was a whole different story.
I'm just saying,
ballgame.
there's a lot of people like over in Boston upset at Chara that he would leave Boston, but like every
You
player
know-
does it when they're older.
I don't think anyone's upset about it.
You don't think
Like-
so? You don't think there's some diehard Bruins fans over there in Mass that are just like,
Well, I'm sure
oh,
there's
this
going to be
Josh Jacobs
some.
is brutal.
Did you say Josh Jacobs? It's Jeremy Jacobs is the owner
Whatever.
of Boston. Josh
Who's Josh
Jacobs is the
Jacobs?
running back that just got a DUI.
Oh,
Ooh, I should have tripped him there. That was a bad play on my part. Yeah, Jeremy Jacobs
doing
is
it.
the owner in Boston.
oh, never mind.
Oh, what a poke. Man, we are not having good luck today. So far, we're 0-2. Got Oh, why wouldn't you just pick that up?
Did we not
got
win our
ruled.
first game today?
No, remember we played that game and your
Oh,
TV
right.
glitched out.
Yeah,
Oh, go back to the computer, man.
you're right. This has been a tough day.
Yeah, so we're 0-2 so far today. Not looking too good. We're up in Div 4 now. So now we're playing some real competition. It's not just going to be a cakewalk like we want it to be.
Yeah, it's gonna be different to finally see Chara in a different uniform.
It is
You
going to
know?
be different. You know what? I did think if he was going to leave, I thought there was a good chance he was going to leave. But I thought that it would have been, if it wasn't Boston, it was either retirement or he went to Ottawa or the Islanders.
Yeah, back to a
Yeah,
team where he's already been.
yeah, just kind of round out your career. Drafted by the
Yeah.
Islanders, established in Ottawa, and then superstar in Boston.
Yeah. Well, you know what? They say that the whole reason was because Chara didn't want a limited role in Boston, but it's like they still need a defenseman in Boston. Like, how limited was the role? Like, they're talking about how now they're gonna maybe go out and take a shot at Sammy Vatanen. Like,
Boston?
yeah, because they
No
need a
way.
right shot D man.
Well, Chara's a left
They
shot
don't
D
like
man.
yeah, but
Oh, he
can
threw
play
that
wherever.
right over me. Oh, goodness. Yeah. Well, I understand why the Islanders didn't sign him because, well, they can't even sign their own guys. They signed Martin and
Yeah.
Green, and then now before they even signed their poster
Oh, I
child.
didn't. I thought you still had it.
Yeah, no, I'm
Well,
not playing very good. Yeah, this
this
is
is not
brutal.
going so well.
These guys are not even very good either.
No,
Their ranks are not great.
this is an old CR dump game.
Mm-hmm. Oh, we can pick it up. But yeah, what do you think about Barzell? It's officially a holdout.
You know, I don't understand what's taken so long, because with Pierre-Luc Dubois getting 5, I just assumed that Barzal was going to get 6 at this rate, get a similar deal, and just move on. And that's basically the entirety of Johnny Boychuk's LTIR. Like, the cap is there.
Well, so do they have
Like,
to
how?
wait to sign him? Like, they shouldn't have to. No one else is waiting.
Well, Hoffman hasn't signed since Steen's LTIR move, so it makes you wonder if maybe they do have to wait.
Oh, brutal. Maybe.
Lee's having himself a day back here.
Oh, this guy better not catch up
Trip
to me.
him, trip him.
Oh, I didn't hold it long enough. I panicked a little bit.
Why am I gonna pick that up?
Yeah, and now this guy's gonna storm in, beat us out. But yeah, I don't know. I don't understand how the whole LTIR thing works. Like, I get it. They don't want to play anymore, so therefore you don't have to pay them anymore.
Yeah.
But when can you? They don't go on until they miss both of us. They don't go on until the beginning of the season, right?
Mm.
So I don't know if you're allowed. Like, you should be allowed to go over. You just have to be cap compliant by a certain day. So I don't see why
Yeah,
you
that's
can't
true.
just
You could
sign
just do
them
the
before
deal
that
now.
day, and then on that day you put them on the LTIR and you're compliant, right?
Yeah, there has to be. Oh, there has to be something that we don't know about, like because guys like Hamnick and Hoffman just sitting on PTOs waiting for deals.
Yeah,
You
that's
think they'd
weird.
be,
You never see that.
done by now?
Yeah, I hooked them twice. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Oh, okay. There, nice play. 2.7 left.
There we go. One before the second.
Yeah. We can get this. We've scored more than this before. It's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I really don't know. I wish I should do some research on that and really get a final answer.
Yeah, it's just hard to sit through reading about LTIR. Like, how
Yeah.
boring does the night get?
I know.
Well, I guess speaking of RFAs then, let's talk about Jack Roslovic in Winnipeg. Another RFA without a
Holdout.
deal, but this
And
is a
he's
little bit
saying
more
he's not.
interesting.
He says he's not even reporting. He's either
Yeah.
going to get a new deal that... Do you think he wants a sign and trade, or do you think he just wants a trade?
At this point, I'm thinking he just wants to trade. Like,
Yeah.
he doesn't even want to go to Winnipeg.
Yeah,
Because even other holdouts, at least they sign. Like, look at Duchesne a couple years ago. Even when they're unhappy, at least they take their money and they play. But Roslovic isn't.
Well, that's what Dubois is
Doesn't want to
doing.
do
He
that
took
yet.
he took $10 million for over 2 years just to play.
Yeah. And it makes sense, But.
Oh my
Ooh.
goodness. Post. But
Okay.
yeah, that was a brutal play on your part. Oh my gosh.
Oh,
The goalie played it in the trapezoid.
Oh, no.
What is he
EA.
doing?
It's coming to you. It's going around the boards.
Holy crap. And they give it to their best player, of course.
Oh, boy.
Yeah. What the
Wow.
heck is that?
This game's kind of a write-off now.
No, it's not. We can still come back. This is the time to do it. We're on stream. Might as well
Yeah, it's true.
deficit. Um. Anyways, yeah. Get rid of the puck, dude. Pass the puck. That could easily have been a give and go instead of just you just risking it and them taking the puck.
Well, I almost scored.
No, you didn't. You weren't even close to almost scoring. So, anyways, yeah, Roslovic's a bit more of a problem. That was C.
But I think
That's
the
what
biggest problem
passing
is
did.
he's not even the only guy who wants out of Winnipeg.
Yeah, well, there you go. Now they got a trade partner. Come on. Because he has a little bit more value. Yeah, you tripped me. He's got a
Yeah.
little bit more value in line A. He wants out of there.
Yeah.
His
And-
report saying, I'm here, aren't I? That's not what you want to hear from your star.
Yeah, he really was kind of just shooting down any questions that he was being asked. He didn't really say that he wanted to stay. He said that he was there, but no reports that he wants to stay in Winnipeg.
No. So he wants out because he's not getting... What's with these Finns not getting power play and not
Yeah,
getting
Puljujärvi.
top line minutes, and they're like, I want out of this place. Like, you gotta... I feel like you deserve...
They weren't as good as Aho, and then it all went downhill.
Yeah,
His
exactly.
two line mates were just upset.
Yeah, they're like, man, we're better than that guy. Whoa!
Yeah,
What a move. But,
it's like that
Who
World
knows?
Juniors when it was Aho, Puljujärvi, and Line and
yeah.
everyone thought Line was super good, but maybe it was Aho.
Yeah, it's true.
You never know.
But I think that, like, you see speculation everywhere of Roslovic and Line getting traded.
Yeah, and so let's talk about who they want to get traded for, and that's
Well, that's for Dubois. That's what you're seeing all over the place.
Pierre-Luc Dubois gets a 2-year, $10 million deal to stay in Columbus just to say he doesn't want to stay in Columbus.
Yeah, it was just like he'll report. That way he
Yeah,
has a
wants
deal
play
to
in
get
camp, he
traded,
gets some money. Yeah.
and he can get Columbus a bit more return because he's there for 2 years, right?
Yeah. But at first the reports was just he
Nice, he
hadn't
hooked you.
signed yet, so people were like, oh, the trade rumors are just because he doesn't have a contract. Like, they're just making up stuff.
Jeez,
Oh, man, too bad they won't give it to you.
I know. Man, these guys are annoying. Well, you get to see these guys are. What's their names again? Josh Allen's big sack.
Yeah.
So now you know if you ever see him. That
Oh,
yeah, you.
I practiced a new move in practice mode, and it was like 80%. Just didn't shoot it quick enough.
Too bad this isn't practice mode.
Yeah, I know. I was using, a lower end guy.
Yeah. Guys like this need to be like, they're just frustrating to play. Yeah, that's
you go.
exactly what I wanted. I'm like, he's gonna try and poke, so I'm gonna hold it away from him. Anyways, yeah, so Line and Roslovic for Dubois. So obviously that's a bit much for just Dubois. So what do you think? What do you think else is gonna go? They got to
Well,
send a
Winnipeg.
defenseman because
Yeah,
Winnipeg needs a
Winnipeg
defenseman.
D-man.
I think
But I
David
think,
Savard is a higher value though than Roslovic. I think Dubois for Line is pretty similar.
But sometimes when you get in a scenario where it's multiple players who just requested a trade and you kind of don't have the benefit of really trade value. Like if teams know that you need to get rid of them, that's the only way I can see kind of,
Yeah.
oh, let's go. That's why it doesn't seem even on paper, but once the deal actually gets done, it's people who don't want to be there anymore get out.
And the thing about
They're
it, it's
kinda
like they
evened it
say,
out.
it's like they say when you're drafting, you always draft the center because either a center can transition to wing, but centers are usually better defensively. They're a more all-together player. So is Dubois a better all-around player than Line? I would agree with that for sure.
Well,
Line
here, let
is
me
one of the
float
most
this out. What's one of the
inconsistent.
one things I know about Patty Laine? Is he's Finnish. What's one of the one things I know about Jarmo Kakalainen? He's Finnish. Maybe there's a connection there.
Maybe.
You never know.
Oh, almost.
But I feel like the real speculation around Dubois is the whole reason why he wants a trade is because of Torts. Everyone remembers him being like yelled at in playoffs on the bench, and
Yeah, but then
was called
Torts
out by
played him like
Torts.
crazy. So like, why wouldn't? Oh,
Oh,
nice! I was the last
my
to touch
goodness,
it
Who are
too.
they giving it to?
It better be me. What an idiot.
That's
Please
why
be
you don't
me.
rag it.
Oh, it's the
Oh.
computer. We tied it. Up 5-2,
Oh
and they
my
just like,
goodness.
that's awesome
They're
right
a
there.
5-1.
They're up 5-1? Yeah, well, we just
Wow.
tied it, guys.
Yeah.
All in the third period, 5-5. 34 seconds left.
Man,
Now watch
what a
us give it
game.
up.
I'm
Yeah.
staying at the point.
Yeah, I know. We'll move it around.
Ooh, it was sitting there
But,
for Compy.
gee, sorry guys, we're all over the place. This is an interesting game.
Yeah, this is.
We've been talking about Line and Roslovic for the last 45 minutes.
Ooh.
Get it up. He's gonna pressure. Oh, I'm off.
Oh. Here's coming back to you. You
Yeah.
take it in.
Oh,
Oh.
what a chance. I tried to get that over to you and I missed.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, so this is brutal to listen to. Holy crap. If we had any listeners to begin with, this is not good.
I feel like this is why you listen.
Maybe, yeah. If you're watching, I can understand if you're watching. So that'd be good.
Even if you watch it after you get to see the game, come for this
That's true.
game. It's
Yeah,
entertaining.
this is an insane game. Going into overtime, down 5-1, tied 5-5. These guys
Okay,
took
well, then
penalty
lighter
after
topic
penalty.
for overtime. Let's just talk about Joe Thornton. You know, you don't have to get into
Yeah.
stats or any trade talk.
There you
Just
go.
an old guy amongst all those young bucks.
Yeah, he's now getting first line minutes for the preseason. You know, they're gonna see how it feels. He says he feels rejuvenized, and he feels young again, which is what you want to hear for a guy that signed for $750K. Like, why not?
I will say this.
Oh, that was a brutal
That
pass.
had nothing on it. You know, re-listening to that Chris Versteeg interview, he always talked about how the one big year that impacted his career and other people's careers, like even Ryan Whitney was saying, was that.
Yeah.
Yes!
Boom.
What a comeback!
What a comeback! Holy
Down
crap!
5-1 in the third.
Win 6-5. Woo. Every time I think about Joe Thornton, I always think about what Brian Burke said in the Spitting Chicklets interview, and he said he doesn't understand why they did it because he's on the back nine of his career. He's like probably putting on 17 was the exact quote.
Yeah.
He said that he's a great locker room guy and that he's going to play in the bottom six. And he's like, I just explained Jason Spezza. Now you bring in Joe Thornton. Like, what's the point? And now they're like, oh, you know what we're going to do? We're going to put him on the top line. That's what my point is. Okay.
Yeah, shades of Jaromir Jagr in Calgary.
Exactly.
Got 1 point. That worked out great.
Exactly. He's gonna be pushing Marner across the blue line. Hey, get in there, kid.
Yeah.
Like, it's tough. I don't understand it. Do I think it's gonna work? I don't know, but I'm not gonna say it's not.
At least he was skating in Switzerland over the off season. You know.
Yeah, that guy's.
At least he's been staying on the ice, working. Ooh, I'm 1900 in my next rank.
Nice, or not nice? I don't know.
It's not nice. I thought I was a lot closer.
Yeah, I'm 1200, I believe.
Oh boy.
Had a good day yesterday, but it's come down a bit.
Yeah.
But all right, let's finish this topic. Laine and Roslovic, Dubois. I think it's on paper it's a decent trade. I think it's going to be Dubois and one other piece if that trade happens. You see it all over the place. Everyone's like, these guys want to get traded. This guy wants to get traded. I think Dubois is better than Laine. He's more established. I think even if they did Dubois for Laine and Roslovic, I'd understand it. I could see both sides.
I do. I understand a deal no matter kind of what it looks like at this point. I just understand it because you have guys who want to leave your team.
Exactly.
Like, even if you lose the trade, they want to leave. Like,
they don't want to play on
your
team. So
what
do you want to do?
In the locker room?
Exactly. Yeah. The only thing that I could see being an issue is Roslovic would now be the only center coming back. And on Columbus, at center, it's literally... Actually, they're not bad. They got Dubois right now, obviously. But you got Max Domi, who I guess could slot one. But then down the line, you have Mikko Koivu, Riley Nash, and Jack Roslovic. That's your center.
Yeah, it works. I think that works if you're Columbus.
If Cliff Poo could come out of nowhere and do something, play center maybe.
No, he's going in the expansion draft anyways.
Yeah, that's right. So I don't know. It'll be interesting to see what happens. And at the end of the day, it's Tortorella. He look at what he did last year with a team that no one thought would do good. So having Line and Roslovic is big to begin with.
Yeah, that's the one thing. You can never count out Columbus, even after they trade away star players.
Yeah, exactly. So, anyways, so that's pretty much that. Let's get into the North Division here. Let's talk
Yeah.
about some of the teams. What's going on?
Well, let's start right here in Calgary. I tell you, it's been one of the wilder off seasons in Calgary than that I can remember.
Mm-hmm.
It's I'm not used to Calgary being one of those buyer teams. You know, so they bring in the big name is Jacob Markstrom, your first starting goalie since Mika Kiprasov, really,
Yeah,
which is just incredible for the team. What do you think about the Chris Tanev deal?
I like it. I like it. Um, it's hard to say because he's a 30-year-old defensive defenseman, which is kind of what Calgary needs because they have these high-flying young guys. They have Yusuf Alamaki, Rasmus Anderson, Noah Hannafin, and so having a guy, even Giordano to a degree, is more offensive than Tanev. So having a guy that they can pair with a young guy, and the young guy can jump up, do his thing, while Tanev stays back and is like, I got this.
Yeah, and I think it's a really good deal to bring in, considering you lose three D-men and Brody Gustafson and Hamonic.
Mm-hmm.
I think Tanev can slot in. It's very similar to all three of those guys. He has that grit, that willing to fight, a lot like Hamonic, and he's got that offensive upside, just like Brody and Gustafson.
Yeah, exactly. So I think it's a very good play, and I hear he's a great guy just to have in the locker
Yeah,
room. Like he's a
yeah,
great guy to be around. The young guys love him. I heard in Vancouver, like Quinn Hughes, Besser, all of them are hanging out with Tanev all the time.
yeah. Well, hey, another interesting fact is, as camp starts, they have Dominic Simone playing with Sean Monahan and Johnny Gaudreau.
Oh
They
wow,
said they heard
shocker!
a lot of good things from Sidney Crosby when he was over in Pittsburgh, and so
Oh
they're
really?
trying it out in camp. So yeah, I
Why
find
not?
that to be really interesting.
Yeah. Well, I mean, everybody with is playing with
Yeah, for
Giordano, Goudreau
Crosby.
and Monahan.
Oh yeah,
They're just trying to find something that sticks. Whereas Lindholm's stuck, but I think they need him as more of a depth piece than just a loaded
yeah.
line.
I think the big thing is that I think Lindholm is a little bit better than needing to play with both of those guys. I think Lindholm is
Yeah,
at the point where he can carry his own line,
exactly.
and I think you don't want to break up Backlund and Kachuk. Those two have worked out great together. So it's just
Hmm.
you kind of get the odd man out with Lindholm. Do you want him to have his own line or join one of those two duos?
Well, the good thing about him is he can play power play with the big guys, but I think
Yeah.
they can move him up and down the lineup between 2 and 3 to play and round out those lines. So you can either throw him on the wing if you're down, or you can keep him as a depth piece on the second line, and have maybe move Backlund down to the third line.
Yeah. Oh, and another winger that they're able to re-sign, Andrew Mangiapane.
Yeah,
He's,
he's a big
I don't
one.
want to sound like a homer, but I think he is a sneaky underrated player in this league.
Yeah, no, I
He
agree with you for sure.
proved to definitely be a key piece in that playoff. Well, I don't want to call it a playoff run. We beat Winnipeg in 4 games, but he was. He's really turning into something here in Calgary, and I think that's what you need out of those later draft picks.
Well, now they have Connor Zari. They just
Yeah,
signed him to his
resigns.
entry level, and
Yeah, I think you see both Pelche and Zari they'll return to junior next year, which is which is what you like to see. You don't want to rush any guys out of junior. Like we aren't the Oilers here.
you think Pelche goes back again? Because didn't he? Wasn't he
I
there
think
last year?
Pelche goes, but yeah, he was, but I think he goes back again for sure.
Well, you never know. They'll definitely both get a shot at the roster, but at the end of the day, who knows what they're gonna do?
Yeah, but hey, it's a good off season for Calgary. I think they're improved if anything.
Hmm. Now, what do you think about their friend up north, the Edmonton Oilers?
Um, well, this is I like it and I don't like it for two different reasons. In the shortened season, I'm really liking teams that are able to stick together. And Edmonton only loses Athanasiou and Benning and Green, who was only there for like 5 games,
Well, so was
and Riley
Athanasiou. He
Sheehan.
was only there for a couple of games.
Yeah, so you don't really lose any big pieces. So,
But you bring
I
in a
like the
lot.
Oilers roster for that.
You bring in Kyle Turris. You bring in Tyson Barrie. Like you're losing.
Yeah.
Yes, you
See,
lost.
that's the Jekyll and Hyde of it. Is I like what they're able to keep, and I don't like, taking flyers out on guys.
They brought in Dominic
Toronto
Cahoon.
hated Tyson Barrie. Will Edmonton like him?
Yeah.
Kyle Turris is coming out of a buyout. Will you like him? It's
Dominic
a lot of
Cahoon's
flyers out on
over,
guys.
and so is Puljujärvi. He came back. I think he's going to be interesting to see.
I think Puljujärvi is the one key piece for Edmonton this year. He's what can change your roster. I think this is going to be a different Yessi than last time he was in town. He is a very talented player, and I think this could be his year to finally shine with this Oilers team.
No, I agree with you for sure. I think that the
I
Oilers
also like Alan Quine.
the only big question on the Edmonton Oilers is their goaltending because they're still rocking
Yes.
Mike Smith and
man.
Mika Koskinen. Oh my gosh, he double clutched it into his shin pads. But that's my big thing.
Jeez, did I play that awful?
Yeah. So that's my big thing. I think they're going to be a contender. They're going to be probably in the playoffs, in my opinion. They lose. Oh my goodness, what is the defenseman's name? Klefbom. They lose Klefbom for the year,
Yes.
but they bring in Tyson Barrie, who can easily step into that role.
Yeah.
So
but
they're pretty
the
similar
biggest
to
question
last
mark is
year.
definitely in net. I think
Yeah.
Oilers fans are counting on Koskinen to play better than he was.
Well, it's funny
I
because
think this is a year where they're kind of predicting Smith to kind of finally take in a backup role.
yeah. It's funny because you're saying it's a good thing that they stick together, but at the same time, it's a bad thing that they stuck together because they still have the same
problem
old
areas you maybe
goaltending.
wanted to get rid of.
Yeah, exactly. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see. I think that they're going to be just fine with McDavid and Draisaitl. Any team will be just fine with them.
It's just with a goalie carousel of an off season, it's weird to stick with the same two.
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, they were out on Markstrom, so then they kind of like re-signed Smith as like a backup. As like a backup plan.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, we'll see.
Okay,
how it
I'm
goes.
joining you.
Yeah.
Oh.
Oh, I gave it to you too early.
I
Sorry.
didn't think you. Yeah.
Well, I was looking for a give and go because he was going to start pressuring.
Mm.
So then we got Vancouver. Vancouver took a hit in the offseason. Okay.
Yeah.
They lost Tyler Toffoli. They lost Jakob Markstrom. They lost Chris Tanev. And they bring in Nate Schmidt. They bring in Nate Schmidt and they bring in Holtby.
Yeah, the Holtby thing is interesting.
I like it because your number one is Thatcher Demko going into the year. You drafted him a couple years ago. You want him to be your number one, and that's exactly what you expect out of him. And he proved in the playoffs he can be that guy at the most important times. But is he able to withstand a year of being the starter? I don't know, and that's why you bring in Braden Holtby. Even if he is a little bit older and didn't have a great year last year, he can definitely play a limited role and be very effective.
Yeah, I guess you hope that, maybe not statistically wise, but you hope that Braden Holtby has a similar season where he loses a starting job to a young goalie.
Yeah, that's what you
hope
want,
that
exactly.
Samsonov can be, Demko this year.
No, I agree. So I don't think they're going to give Holtby the starting job. I think they're going to start off with at least a 1A, 1B and ride Demko and really see what they got in him.
Yeah, and then so that's kind of to replace Markstrom's role as Demko was coming in, but now you replace Tanev with Nate Schmidt. Nate Schmidt was always a guy that I think kind of got a little bit more credit than he deserved in Vegas. I think that first year he was a big piece of that team, but I don't know if he's going to be what Vancouver wants him to be.
Whoa.
I think of, you already brought in Tyler Myers.
Yeah, but he plays
I have a lot of
he definitely
questions
plays
around
he definitely plays a different role than Tyler Myers.
Yeah, hopefully you can just stay off those PEDs.
Yeah, I'm sure they won't have a problem with that.
Yeah, but it does suck that Vancouver's big thing was you don't re-sign Markstrom to re-sign Toffoli, then you don't re-sign Toffoli.
Yeah,
So-
that's the thing. I don't understand. Their offseason kind of was questionable, but from some Vancouver fans I know, they just said they're really preparing to pay
Oh,
Pedersen
all
and
the
a
young
couple of their
guys.
young guys in the next couple of years, so they don't want to
Yeah,
lock in a couple contracts and then
that
be
does make sense.
screwed later on, right? So
Yeah,
that's definitely what they're definitely trying to do, which is kind of tough, just for the fact that nice, just for the fact that you're going to be taking a hit. You're losing right now, so now they need their young guys to come up and
yeah,
definitely fill those roles.
yeah. And they are a really young team. Like even this wave of rookies playing now, the Bessers, Pedersens, and Hughes. Once they all, are after that ELC and they're making money, then you get a second wave where it's Puckholzen and Hoglander coming into the league. Like Vancouver's done a really good job of drafting and building a young team.
Yeah, no, I'm a big fan of Vancouver.
Yeah,
I definitely like what they're doing, and I've been a Demko fan since he played at BC. So
yeah, yeah. You know what? I always liked him because of those sick Brian setups.
yeah,
Interesting to see him in training camp actually wearing Markstrom's gear.
is it actually his
I've
gear, or
never.
is it a replica of
It
his
is.
gear?
No, it was his. It was made for Markstrom. I find that odd. I've never seen a goalie do that.
No. Well, he's like, well, it worked for Markstrom. Let's see if it'll work for me.
I just figure he misses him so much. Those goalies
Yeah,
stick together.
yeah, that's very true. Um, well, let's stay in the West and let's talk about Winnipeg. I don't know about this team, man. I got a lot of question
Yeah.
marks.
It is. It's definitely starting to look like a little bit shakier of a locker room to start with. You know.
Well, we talked about it earlier. Line and Roslovic. Like Line seems like he's there physically, but does he want to be there?
Yeah.
Uh, Paul Maurice said that he was in a good mood and he was in good spirits, so that's positive. But look at what happened with Duchesne. He reported, and he did not look like he wanted to be there, even though he was.
Yeah. I feel like a coach kind of has to say that he expects a lot out of a player who doesn't want to actually be there.
Yeah, I agree with that.
Yeah,
So
it's an interesting team because they don't actually change a whole lot. Like you use Eakin and Kulikov, but you bring in Stastny and Forbert. Like it's a lot similar of a team as last year. But the
oh,
problem
I
is
was there.
last year
Sorry.
they were a little rough. I think Connor Hellebuck winning that Vezina was kind of their saving grace.
Yeah, they got a little bit better defensively. They re-upped DeMello. They brought in Forbert. So they're hoping Billy Hanola will step into a good role there.
Yeah,
So like they got some
yeah, and
promise. They
Sammy
got
Niku.
Logan.
Like they
Yeah,
have
Sammy
defense on the
Niku.
way. It's just going to take a little bit of time.
They have Tucker Poolman, who's already playing their big man. You got what are you doing? Oh,
Ooh,
Tucker Poolman, Logan Stanley, both of them are just big beasts, standing huge. So they kind of replaced Tyler Myers when they lost him, but I
and a
don't know. I
lot of
don't think
Winnipeg
they're
fans
that.
really love Mason Appleton more so than Jack Roslovic.
I actually really like
That's
Mason
why
Appleton as well.
yeah, but I kind of prefer Roslovic.
It depends. Brozovic had a really good career before he made the NHL. Like he played in the national team. He
Ooh.
played for the national development team. He came in third in scoring behind Matthews and Matthew Tkachuk. And so he showed right there that he can at least play at a elevated level.
Yeah.
And I just don't think that he's getting a good shot in Winnipeg. One thing that
Yeah,
I would
I
actually
think
like to see as well is Puljujärvi to go to Winnipeg,
yeah.
play with Laine.
Hey, those Oilers fans, they're probably already predicting Line to Edmonton.
Yeah, of course. Typical Oilers fans are predicting everyone to go to them. They were in on apparently they were in on every free agent last year, according to my friends.
Yeah.
Nice pass.
Yeah, I was looking through Twitter yesterday, and I saw this one Oilers fan saying that they signed Mike Smith, and he was willing to take less to join the team so that they could make room for Matt Duchene. I'm like, yeah, okay.
Yeah, no
Mike
doubt.
Smith signed for less, not because he's a bad goalie, but because he's a homer and wants to play behind Matt Duchene.
Yeah.
Way to save
Well,
$700,000 in cap space there, Edmonton.
well, in Edmonton, every little bit counts right now.
Yeah, my bad. I should probably just stop crapping on Edmonton.
Yeah. You want to talk about a homer? You're just Flames fan
I
crapping
kinda
on the
got a little carried
Oilers.
away
But we'll see. Winnipeg will be pretty good if Hellebuck. That was a terrible pass.
Yeah, thank you.
Hellebuck can be the Vezina caliber goalie he was last
Yeah.
year. Then they definitely have something. Oh,
Yeah,
what a
last year
pass!
they were like one of those bubble playoff teams. I think this year you're looking at a very similar situation
Yeah,
where you're fighting for a playoff spot. You didn't really. Oh,
they're gonna be fighting for that fourth spot. I don't see much more out of them than that.
yeah,
I wouldn't say they're guaranteed a playoff spot at all, but
yeah,
in the division, there's only really two or three teams that are probably a lock for the playoffs.
yeah.
So we'll see. But now let's head out east. We got Montreal and Ottawa and Toronto to talk about. And with Toronto, I think being the best of them, why not start there?
Sure, yeah. And Toronto is doing very much Toronto things. Instead of bringing in one like big key piece and making the fans happy, they went out and got TJ Brody, as their big centerpiece. But then they just add a buttload of these minor deals. You bring in Wayne Simmons, Joe Thornton, Jimmy Vesey,
Zach
whoever this
Bogosian.
Letnin guy is, Zach Bogosian, Norris Snub, like Aaron Dell,
Snub.
Barabanov. Like, I don't understand why Toronto brings in like 8 guys at $700K to fill roster spots instead of just trying to fix problem areas.
So the thing is, I guess, like they're solid down the middle. They automatically you have Tavares and Matthews right there. Then you got Kerfoot and Thornton who can play in the middle.
Yeah.
And then and like they have a very good team, but I think that they added the wrong thing defensively. I like the Zach Bogosian deal. I like him in Toronto. I think that they need that defensive defenseman to kind of step in, a little bit of grit kind of thing. And
Yeah.
so I think that that's what they needed. But signing Brody to that big deal, I think they would have been better to go
they
after
really didn't
Tanev.
like Barry, and I figure, TJ Brody is basically Calgary's
Tyson Barrie.
Barry. Yeah,
Yep.
yeah. They're both
I agree.
offensive defensemen who makes fans a little bit irritated by they're willing to jump into plays that maybe they shouldn't. And yeah, that poor graveyard for D-men in Toronto. I think the fans will eat Brody alive if he has a rough start to the season.
Yeah, 100%.
And the thing is these are good players that go to Toronto, but that poor media there just eats them apart, and then they go find success elsewhere.
No, I know it's tough to watch, but I just don't think they're addressing the right need. They're like, okay, Brody's the best defenseman here who can put up points, so let's give him a deal. It's like, okay, why don't you sign? Like, why didn't he go after Chris Tanev? Why didn't they go after who's a defensive defenseman that played there? Because you already have Dermott, who's going to jump up. You already have Riley, who's proven to be one of the best offensive producing defensemen in the league. Oh, that was a terrible shot. So why don't you get guys to pair?
TJ Brody was unnecessary.
Get guys. You have Timothy Liljegren, who can jump up, who can come up to the NHL and be a good offensive threat. Like, why are you bringing in these offensive guys that are you're now limiting your defense? Who you can jump up, right?
Oh, computer. He loves those bank passes behind the net.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I think it's a bit interesting how they signed Brody to, 3 or 5 years? I can't remember.
I think 4 years at 5.
4 years at 5. That's where I was getting the 5 from.
Yeah,
so,
I think... But the real thing is that Toronto's already a good team. Like, they have a raw talent. Like, these are just minor moves for an already good team. It's just, I think you had the potential to be even better on the back end if you maybe just went after a more defensive unit.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. I think in the future with this Brody signing he's 30 already? 31? How old is Brody?
Yeah, I believe so. I believe he just turned 30.
So he's 30.
Season.
They have him for 4 years, so he's going to be 34. In those 4 years now, you're taking up a position from... So you're going to have Brody and Riley, top of your team. So then now you have Liljegren, this guy coming over from Russia. There's 2. You have Erasmus Sandin, and then you have that bottom 6. But Brody's not going to want to play down there.
The fans and media in Toronto kind of forces moves that shouldn't happen. Like, do you think because Brody puts up points that deal is made because Toronto thinks they'll keep the fans happy.
I
You know,
guess
they
because they
don't.
brought in that defensive defenseman Cody
Those.
Ceci last year, and look at what
Yeah,
he did. All they did
yeah.
was just
Like
crap
the
on him.
stats don't show up, so fans crap on them, so they go out and get guys who put up points instead.
Maybe I am down. So yeah, that could be it. I mean,
Yeah,
I'm not going to be the guy that says it's not it because that's obviously what's going to help, I guess. I don't know. It's tough.
yeah. It is.
But then we go to a team who did a ton this offseason in Montreal. This is my time to crap on a
Yeah,
team.
Montreal's always an interesting one. They always seem to stay right in that middle zone where it's like they're not a bad team, but they're not a good team. And then they make those moves that, they're not great, but they're not bad.
I am very skeptical of the Josh Anderson move. He's been hurt a lot. He's not doing what he should. Like he's not. They're paying him to produce what he hasn't produced yet. Is basically what I'm
Yes.
trying to say.
Yeah,
They're paying him to
like
do something he hasn't been proven to do. Like
yeah,
that's
you
a
talk about looking
lot.
bad. Signing that Dubois deal yesterday really makes Montreal look bad.
Yeah,
Like Dubois had
I
a
thought you were
really
gonna
good
come in.
last year. Yeah, I got scared with the two guys up high.
Yeah, makes sense.
Like Dubois had almost 50 points in 70 games last year, whereas Josh Anderson puts up just 4 points in 27 games. Doesn't play a playoff game because of the injury. And then Dubois puts up 10 points in 10 playoff games. He gets 5, and then Anderson gets 5.5 for 7 years.
Yeah, no, I agree with
Yeah,
you
that
for
Josh
sure.
Anderson deal is a little bit of a question mark. I don't know where Montreal is getting these numbers from.
Yeah, no, neither do I. And the funny part is that they signed Anderson before Domi, and even Domi took
Yeah.
less, and he's proven
Yeah.
more. Like,
And I think because of that deal, now the big question marks surround your younger guys, Kotkaniemi, Caulfield, Romanov. Like now all of a sudden you need people who are taking less to contribute.
and Montreal's a very small team. I understand the league is now going for speed and goal scoring, which is kind of how the way that they're aiming.
Mhm.
But I don't know if they're necessarily doing it properly because they're not really bringing in anybody big. Tyler Toffoli on the small side, Josh Anderson scrappy on the small side. Like,
Mhm.
I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to
Yeah,
figure
I do
out
like
what
the
the plan
Toffoli
is.
deal. I almost feel like Toffoli was almost maybe the only offensive addition you needed.
Yeah,
Like I feel like you could have kept Max Domi with Toffoli, and that would have been a great duo for that team.
yeah, I see what you're saying. And they bring in Jake Allen, who I personally think that that's a good deal because it'll take a
Yes.
little bit of pressure off of Price. You only gave up a third
It's a
round
good
pick,
deal.
and worst comes to worst, at the deadline you're out of it. You can easily trade him for a third round pick.
Yeah, and I think if you're Montreal, you're worried about you have Caden Primo, who's an American goalie. He's kind of your goaltending prospect. I think they're worried about the fact that who is their other backup there? He came from Northeastern. I'm forgetting his name, but they're worried
I
that
don't know.
maybe they're taking away from some development ice time for Caden Primo by needing him to back up Carey Price. So
Oh
it's a
yeah,
great,
so you're giving him starts
just-
down in the A.
yeah, instead of sitting on the bench up in the NHL. And so I think that Jake Allen move is really smart for Montreal.
Yeah, no, I
Like look
agree.
at
Whoa.
like Niemi. I think that was almost when he really shined, was when he got to back up Carey Price.
Yeah, well, Carey Price, he
It's a
plays
good role
so
in
much,
Montreal.
he needs a bit of rest here and there.
Yeah,
Oh, what a poke.
yeah. Like look at
That's
in Toronto did a very similar thing with Jack Campbell.
Yep. And then they brought in Aaron Dell this year to do the
Yeah,
same
very
thing.
much
He
a
was-
two goalie league nowadays.
Yeah, I agree. So yeah, they're going to be good, I think. Montreal, they're definitely going to be pushing for that fourth spot. Whether they take it or not, I don't know, obviously, but
Yeah.
it's going to depend all
It's-
on how these acquisitions add up. Like,
Yeah, that's the thing is there's so much acquisitions that are not like depth moves, but like big offensive moves, like Toffoli and Anderson, where it's like a lot of your season depends on how good they look when they join the team.
yeah.
So you really don't know what Montreal is until they start the season.
Yeah, no, I agree. And then last team's Ottawa, who has also done a ton this offseason.
I
They
like
have-
Ottawa. Considering they're like a basement team, they always give you a lot to talk about. Like they stay busy.
Mm-hmm. They definitely stay busy. Oh, I thought I had that. But they have these young guys coming up, solid youth. And Brandstrom's coming up. They got Brady Tkachuk, who's already a star. They have I'm blanking. Who's their other big guy? They
They have
drafted
Josh
Tim
Norris coming
Stutzel.
in.
Tim
Tim
Stutzel they
Stützle's
just
coming
got.
in. Ooh, didn't know my finger was on the pass button for that long.
No, all good. I got this guy.
They have Logan Brown coming in, who's a first-round pick.
Yeah, big guy, big center.
Yeah, like they're already good prospect-wise on the team now. That
Yeah,
they have
and
more
then
prospects on the way. That
on
are
top
good.
of that, they bring in Dadonov. They bring in
Yeah.
Sorry, I don't have it pulled up in front of me. Who else did they bring in?
They
Dadonov
brought
was
in
the
Murray,
big guy. Yeah, Matt Murray as
and
goalie.
Austin Watson on the front end. The Matt Murray deal, I think, is the one big question mark if you're
Ooh,
Ottawa.
that was not a good play.
You built
Dylan.
such. Yeah, I know. I got distracted. I think you make such good efforts to bring in all the young guys who will need contracts in 4 to 5 years, but yeah, Matt Murray back there.
Matt
Making way
Murray is
too
a
much.
huge question mark,
Yeah,
and he
but you
was
should
never.
never sign a question mark to 6 years. Like, oh
Yes,
boy.
that is very true. It's
Yeah.
definitely an interesting strategy on their part,
Hmm.
but I don't know.
But hey,
Sorry.
you also bring in Galchenyuk on a 1-year deal, a young guy
Galchenyuk.
looking to kind of revive his career.
Oh.
That should have been a win. Yeah, a lot of smart moves by Ottawa. Oh, and then I also forgot they brought in Stepan last week.
Yeah, they brought in Stepan. They brought in with Tampa Bay. Who is it? Cedric Paquette and Braden Coburn.
Yeah, they do a great job of just staying relevant and building
Yep.
up prospects.
And
Yeah.
being in this division now, say you get a team in Canada that is struggling, like Montreal, and you're playing them 10 times,
Yeah,
you can easily
you can get hot.
get a couple wins out of that.
Yep.
So
Yeah, it's going to be a sneaky franchise in the next 3 to 5 years. It's going to be big improvements after big improvements, and then
If Matt
you'll look
Murray
at them
can
to maybe
step-
take over the reins.
if Matt Murray can stay
Some of these
healthy and
teams.
step into that role
Yeah.
that he was in Pittsburgh, then I
Mhm.
could see them being relevant pretty quickly. But if he's just a bust and you got that big contract on your books, then it's not looking too good.
Yeah, it's a little odd to be talking about a goalie with 2 Stanley Cups to be still a question mark in his career. But he was
Yeah.
just so young, and he was behind such a good team that it's hard to believe what he is.
Yeah, I agree. So what do you rank these? Well, who do you think's coming in first in this division?
Oof. I think this is kind of Toronto's division.
Yeah.
Just raw talent-wise, as much as their defense is lacking, and I think Frederik Andersen has a bounce-back year. I know a lot of fans have him kind of as a question mark after last year, but
Well, he was
I
on the
think they're
trade
just so
block
good
earlier.
offensively that they can survive their defensive issues. At
Oh.
least enough to win this division.
Yeah, I agree. I also have Toronto first. And then I have, who do you got second here?
A lot of people might hate me for this, but I have Calgary in second.
Yeah.
Just
I
because.
also have Calgary in second.
Okay, good.
I think
That's
with
not
the
just
addition
me.
of with the addition of Markstrom really anchoring their goaltending situation, bringing in Tanev
Mm-hmm.
and having these young defensemen coming up who are very good prospects, being as good as they are offensively already, I think if they can sustain consistency, they can keep that second spot easy.
Yeah, I think, just because there's question marks in that for the other teams. Like I have in third place, I have Edmonton,
Yeah, I also have
and
Edmonton.
I have them behind Calgary. Like I get like McDavid, Draisaitl, they have a lot of talent, but Smith and Koskinen, you don't know what's there.
Yeah. No, exactly. You don't know what's there. Koskinen is paid to be that number one right now, and it's not happening, but you see signs of brilliance with him, so he could
Yeah.
easily take that next step if something clicks, right?
Yeah.
And so
Okay,
the
so
fourth,
who's your fourth?
this is tough. I have 3 teams. I think all 4 teams from here on can compete for this spot, but I have Vancouver.
Yes, I also have Vancouver there, but the difference is I really don't think it's much of a competition. I see these top 4 teams, especially after the playoffs last year, and well, I guess for Toronto playoffs in the past, the series against Boston, they've kind of been there before, and there's a lot of offensive talent, and you don't see that out of the other 3 teams. I think these 4 teams are kind of a
Oh
ooh,
no. Oh,
ooh, thank
big
goodness.
play.
Yeah, I think these top 4 teams, just in my mind, are kind of a lock for the playoff teams
I don't know if I wouldn't say
in any
Vancouver
order.
is a lock in any means. They had a tough off season. They showed a lot of. Oh my goodness, Rocky. That was brutal. They showed a lot, and I think that they will take that fourth spot.
Yeah,
But I think it's possible that any of these teams can take
yeah.
it.
I just really like Pedersen and Quinn Hughes and Besser. There's a lot of raw talent
He
there to miss the
missed.
playoffs.
Yeah, I agree. Who do you have
So who's
at
your fifth?
fifth? I have Winnipeg.
Yep, you right there with you, Winnipeg.
I just think with Hellebuck, with the addition they brought in Forbert, they have now a decent defense. They still have a lot of question marks on defense. Wow, good play, computer.
Yeah,
But I think that they still have they're older, but they're still a very experienced, quality team, and
yeah.
I think that they can take this spot.
I think they could have if they didn't have such question marks surrounding Roslovic and Line, and just because
Yeah,
it's and guys like Wheeler and Stastny are a year older.
yeah, no,
They,
exactly.
I just have a lot of question marks surrounding this team.
No, I agree. I have the same thing. So then I have Montreal.
Yeah, Montreal and Ottawa, 7 and 8.
Yeah. Whoa,
Ooh,
he tripped him. Tripped the
man.
computer.
Well, let's see if the
So
computer can do it again for us.
yeah, back to back. So yeah, Ottawa is last. I hate doing it to them because I think they're going to be a very competitive
Yeah,
team this
I
year. I
don't.
just think
People
that
lump
this.
them in with Detroit, but I don't think. I think they're
Ah,
not on the same tier as Detroit. Yeah, they're
no,
bad, but they have great things coming.
I agree. I agree. So other than that, that's we got a lot to talk
We're
about.
in the
That's the end of our
fourth
division.
overtime. What?
Yeah, I I'm not sure if that's right. I think we're only
My
in the
game. Oh, now
second.
we're in the second.
Yeah,
But my screen did
he
say
tripped
four
me.
for a second. There it is. That's
Game
the win.
over. Guys,
Let's
watch. This is
go.
game over. Not a big deal. This is a guarantee almost every time. Look at that. I tripped the guy to start it. He missed. And now I get redemption. Watch me miss now. It's just the way it's going to go, too. Yeah.
Yeah, let's go.
What a win for the stream. We got two big overtime wins.
Yeah, and exciting games to watch.
They were. Yeah, exactly. I wish that all our games were that exciting.
Yep.
284. I'm just outside what is that? 83 away from 25,000 again. So,
Yeah, I'm hanging
we're
around in
good.
the 24s.
Yeah.
Okay, well, you wanna close out with some of this other news that we didn't get to?
Yeah, let's just rally off a couple things. There's just some stuff we just want to touch on. Ryan Callahan finally retired. He was never going to play again anyways, but it's good
Yeah.
to see that he finally gets his closure of
Respectable
retiring.
not to just hop onto LTIR. Good for him.
Well, he was on LTIR last year, so
I know, but just not to
yeah, I
hang on there
understand.
like some of these other guys.
Yeah, that's true. Then you got Stefan Johns suffered from concussions last year. I believe it was post-concussion syndrome. So he didn't play
Hmm.
last year, and he actually bowed out again this year.
Yeah,
So
it makes you
he won't be
question
playing.
maybe what the future of his career is.
Yeah.
To already miss this much hockey. Like
And then
those head injuries. Like let's look at Nolan Patrick, like another guy with kind of
his
head
were
injuries where you don't
migraines.
know where he's going.
So yeah, his were migraines. So he also suffered from that as well.
Yeah.
And then I have my favorite. Boston is going to name what they quote unquote an obvious captain. So
Yeah, a few teams to name captains. Like
Boston's naming
I think
Bergeron.
they
I
said
just want to get that
Detroit
out of
is
the way.
supposed to name a captain.
Spurgeon got named captain.
Yeah, who do you think the captain of Detroit's going to be?
Oh, it's got to be Larkin. There's no one there
Yeah,
else
I
that's
think
like
it's
guaranteed to stay other than him. You could give it to Mantha if he's because he just re-upped.
Yeah,
But I
I
think
Mantha's
it's
the only other option.
I think it is your only other option. Yeah, but I'm
Yeah.
positive it's gonna go to Larkin.
Well, let's talk about something that I'm like really excited to see this year is the outdoor games.
Yeah,
We thought we
in
were
Lake
missing out
Tahoe.
with no. Yeah, instead of no Winter Classic or stuff, they still get something done in February up in Alaska.
Yeah, That's gonna be
Yeah,
cool
they
to
said,
just to watch.
the NHL hasn't really technically announced anything yet, but they said there's two games on the schedule, February 20th and 21st, where it's the only game on a Saturday all season, and it's Colorado and Vegas. And then the next day, Philadelphia and Boston, with almost a week of travel time in a division where everyone's next to them. They're thinking those are the two outdoor games.
Hmm.
So there you
Sweet.
go. You get to see Boston up in Lake Tahoe.
That's gonna be exciting. I'm always excited to watch the Bruins, man.
Yeah. Hey, and I looked up that resort up there. That's actually where they play a lot of celebrity golf tournaments. It's a nice place up there.
Oh yeah. Well, Lake Tahoe is a big destination. A lot of people go there.
Yeah.
I have Barzal signed with the Coyotes, small signing, but after losing Stepan, you need that center. You need a guy to fill in there.
Hmm.
Hamonic signs with Vancouver on a PTO. I think you mentioned that earlier. Dylan Strome signed 2 years by $6 million, so he's going to stay
Good
there
for
after
Dylan
losing.
Strome.
Chicago had to do that after losing Doc to the big injury and then losing Taves to his illness. He's going to be. It's tough. Like, what are you supposed to do? Like,
And I think
your
Strome has
center.
had kind of a tough go of it, playing with McDavid and taking, what was it, third or fourth overall?
Fourth overall.
He's kind of had kind of a cloud hanging over his career. So it's nice for him to reunite with DeBrincat and look good playing in Chicago. So it's nice to see him stay there.
Yeah, I agree. I think. Oh, well, I didn't think he was going anywhere to begin with, but now it's like
Yeah.
Chicago needed him right
Yeah.
away. So then,
Yeah. How about
other
we
than
close out with
that,
some World Juniors predictions? Gold medal game today.
gold medal game today. What time is it
You want
at?
give me your winner? I believe it's at 6:30 my time.
6:30.
Yeah, Mountain Time.
Okay, so 5:30 my time.
Yeah.
Who?
Give me
World Juniors
score,
prediction.
game winner.
Okay,
Who
so I'm
scores
gonna
the game
say,
winner?
I'm gonna be a bit of a homer. I'm gonna say Canada wins. I just think there's too good not to take it home this year.
Yeah, it's a very good team.
As well as I'm gonna say we're gonna get the game winner from Dylan Cousins. He's been insane, assisted by Bowen Byram, and I think that the score is going to be 5-2.
You know what? I'm going to double up on the homer just because I have the opportunity to. I'm going to say double OT winner. Or are they doing shootouts? Or this year I think they're finally doing overtimes and gold medal games. I don't know. But I'm just going to say it 3-2 overtime. Pelche from Zari.
Oh my gosh, that's brutal to listen to.
That's the dream right there.
Yeah, I wish I could say game winner by John Beecher for the United States, but I can't because he got kicked out of the tournament.
Yeah, and his roommate.
COVID, yeah. All right, well, that's pretty much all we got for you guys today. Just over an
Yeah.
hour. So, went through a lot, covered everything. So, once again, just like listen, subscribe, let anyone else know if you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments, whatever you want to do. We have Twitter, where we post whenever our shows are going to be, any updates that we have. We have our YouTube channel, our Twitch stream. So yeah, just give us a follow, help us out. We're just talking about something we love to talk about.
Yeah, it's been great. See you guys all next week.
Have a good one, guys.